Welcome to Module 2, Lesson 19. Let's get started. Today, we will be learning how to decompose twice to subtract measurements. We are learning this so that we can find out the size and weight of objects in real life. We will know that we're successful when we can model subtracting measurements. We're going to solve two ways. The first way is using a place value chart, and the second way is using the standard algorithm. We'll solve 223 minus 194 grams. We're going to use blue dots to record 223 grams on the place value chart. So looking at the number 223, how many ones are there in the ones place? How many tens are in the tens place? How many hundreds are in the hundreds place? There are 3 ones, 2 tens, and 2 hundreds. Next, we'll place 194 on the place value chart. We're going to use red dots to subtract the 194 grams from the 213 grams. Looking at 194, how many ones are there in the ones place? How many tens are in the tens place? How many hundreds are in the hundreds place? There are 4 ones, 9 tens, and 100. Now we can subtract. Remember, when we subtract, we always want to start with the ones place. So we're subtracting 223 minus 194. So can we take these 4 red dots from the 3 red dots? No, we cannot. So we're going to decompose or break apart one of the tens. So we're crossing it off the tens place and moving it to the ones place. Now we have 13 ones, and we can subtract 4 from 13. If we subtract 4 from 13, we have 9 left. So that's the purple dots. Moving over now to the tens place. Can we take 9 tens from 1 10? We cannot. We cannot subtract 9 tens from 1 10. So we need to unbundle one of these hundreds or break it apart. We're taking it out of the hundreds and breaking it into 10 tens. So next we'll move 10 tens over to the tens place. And we're not adding this one that we took away. We're not counting that one. We're only counting the blue dots. So now how many blue dots do we have? We have 10 plus 1 is 11 tens there, and 9 tens here. Can we take 9 tens from 11 tens? Yes, we can. We can subtract 9 tens from these 11 tens. We're taking away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So all we have left are these 2 tens, which is represented with the purple dots. Okay, we're doing great so far. We still have to do our hundreds. We have 1 blue dot and 1 red dot. We can subtract 100 from 100, and that leaves us 0 hundreds. How many hundreds do we have left? 0. How many tens do we have left? 2. How many ones? 'So there are 0 hundreds, 2 tens, and 9 ones. In standard form, that would look like 29. We can say that 223 minus 194 is 29 grams using the place value chart. Next, we're going to check our answer using the standard algorithm. So we've stacked 223 minus 194. We're starting in the ones column. Can we take 4 from 3? No, we cannot. So we need to break apart one of the tens bundles. So we only have 1 10 left. We're adding 10 over to the ones place, so we have a total of 13 minus 4. We can count backwards or count up to get our answer. 13 minus 4 is 9. Next, we move to the tens column. We can't subtract 9 from 1, can we? So we need to unbundle one of the hundreds and add 10 tens to the 1 10 that we had left for 11 tens minus 9 tens. Now we have 2 tens down here. Finally, looking at the hundreds column, we have 100 minus 100, and we know that 0 or nothing in the hundreds column. And again, we found that 223 minus 194 is 29 grams. They're both the same, so we can say that the answer is reasonable. Okay, going back to our objective, we want to know if we can model subtracting measurements. Can we do that? Let's find out using our read, draw, write question. In a read, draw, write question, we're going to read the answer and pick out the most important information. We'll draw a picture to help solve the problem, and in this case, we learned how to use a place value chart and the standard algorithm. So we're going to draw a place value chart. And finally, the W portion. Write the answer as a sentence. So let's read first. Abe is driving from New York to Michigan. The total distance, that sounds important, is 918 kilometers, so 918K. He has driven 249 kilometers so far. And the question is, how many kilometers does he have left? Okay, when I see that have left, I know that I want to know the difference, which is a subtraction problem. So I'm going to go to my Google Jamboard. And I'm going to use a place value chart to subtract. 918 minus 249. minus 249. I need to know the difference. Next, I'm drawing a place value chart, and since both of my numbers have 3 digits, I know that I need 3 columns. And to make this my very best work, I want to make sure that I label everything very clearly. What are these columns representing? Well, the one to the far right is the ones column. The middle one is the tens column. And the one to the far left is the hundreds column, or the hundreds place. So now I have 918. That means I have 8 in the ones place. And I have 9 in the ones place on 249. Now I can put a line here in between just so that I can keep them separate. Keep it organized for no mistakes. Okay, great job putting the ones in the ones column. Let's put the tens in the tens column. So here in 918 I have 110. And down here in 249 I have a 4 in the tens place. Now it's time for the hundreds column. In 918, I have 9 in the hundreds place. In 249, I have a 2 in the hundreds place. But I'm not drawing the number. I'm putting hashtags or tick marks. So 9 hundreds and 200s down here. Now we can use our place value chart and our standard algorithm to check our answer. So in the ones place, we have 9 ones from 8 ones. We can't do that, so we need to decompose a 10. So we can add 110 over here. So now we have 18 ones. Can we take 9 ones from 18 ones? Yes, we can, and the answer would be 9. 18 minus 9 is 9. Moving to the tens place, we can't take 4 from nothing, so we need to decompose one of the hundreds. We'll cross off 100, and we'll add 10 tens. We can take 10 minus 4 and get 6 here. So we're not going to count the 100 that we crossed off. We're only going to count how many hundreds do we have left in 918. We have 8 hundreds left. 8 minus 2 is 6. So using the place value chart, I found the answer is 669. Let's see if we can use the standard algorithm to find the same answer. So moving over to the stacked numbers, I can't take 9 from 8, so I have to borrow from the tens place, right? You've heard that term before. We're going to decompose 110 and put it over here. So we're adding 110 plus 8 ones is 18. I can count up or count down and find that the answer to 18 minus 9 is 9. Whatever strategy works best for you. Okay, next we're going to subtract 4 from 0. We can't do that, so we're going to decompose or borrow from the hundreds place. Now we have an 8 where the 9 was. And I'm adding 1 100 to 0, or 10 tens to 0 tens, and we're getting 10 in the tens place, so 10 minus 4, using my subtraction strategy that works best for me, 10 minus 4 is 6. Some of you may have those memorized already. You might automatically know that 10 minus 4 is 6, and that's great. All right, finally, in the hundreds column, 8 minus 2 is 6. So I can say that 918 minus 249 is 669. Let's look back at our question so that we can answer in a complete sentence using information from the question. The question is, how many kilometers does he have left to drive? Abe has 669 kilometers left to drive because 918 minus 249 equals 669. I used a place value chart to check my answer. Okay, now we're going to go back to the presentation and we're going to check the answer here. You may notice that the answer could be worded differently, and that's okay. As long as you have the correct answer, your wording may be a little bit different from the answer given. So let's check. Answer, Abe has 669 kilometers left because 918 minus 249 equals 669. Now it's your turn to do a redraw right question on your own. So you're going to read the question, and I'll read that with you. You will pick out the most important information. You will draw a math model, such as a place value chart, to answer the question completely, and then you're going to write a sentence or some sentences to answer the question using information from the question and explaining your answer. When you're done, when you've done your very best, you can go to the description box below and find the correct answer and compare your answer to mine. Let's read it first. A loaf of bread weighs 129 grams less than a box of oatmeal. A box of oatmeal weighs 520 grams. How much does a loaf of bread weigh? Okay, do your very best work, and I'll see you in the next lesson.